Okay, so we're real quickly just going to do a walkthrough of the whole process. So I've logged into Salesforce, woohoo, and I have a sale. The first thing I'm going to want to do is click on my Purchase Orders tab, and I'm going to click New. Now I have a couple of fields to fill out. The purchase date, it defaults to today, but if I'm doing data entry to backfill, I'd want to change that date. The payment date, if I received payment, right now I'd want to enter the payment date. However, if this process needs to be supported in an invoicing process because we're going B2B, then I would leave the payment date null. I would then define, who it is that I've sold this to, and we'll say in this instance it was B. Fuller. If it's on my recent items, then I could just, do this little guy and do the lookup that we're all familiar with, and, type in whatever, whoever I'm looking for, whatever constituent. Maybe it's Sarah Lee. Woohoo, Sarah Lee. Let's just go back to our friend B. Fuller. Sweet. Then I save it. And you'll notice that the status is not paid because this is the payment date is null. That means so we're going to need to invoice them. And the purchaser is on the DevCom side. And then I'm going to go ahead and start entering my assets. So DLP 200 we'll go with. And let's make that a capital D. I think the important thing to remember about your equipment ID is it's actually case sensitive. This the search is case sensitive. It is case sensitive throughout. So it's information you may want to impart to folks at Exact as well. Now, unfortunately, you do have to enter a contact name. So I've been using as a placeholder Richard. This is a Salesforce setting. It is non-negotiable. It's not something I can change. If I've sold an extended warranty on this asset, then I'm going to click extended warranty. However, it might be noteworthy that field extended warranty is available on all assets, regardless if it's actually available on the product or not. Given that it's a product line of six items, I think we're okay. But if the product line were to grow, this functionality would probably need to change as well. It's something like a related pick list, but we're not there yet. And now you might notice I have not filled in the purchase date. I did not fill in the replacement asset since I didn't replace it, nor have I entered anything into the price or the asset's name. I can leave those blank. The purchase date will be filled in for me. It's inferred from the purchase order, and the price is actually inferred from the details that I've entered into the product that I'm selling. However, this information is only copied from those sources on Create. On edit or on change of any other details, those items are not changed as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So here we go. I've created an asset. The asset name is the equipment ID plus the product, so DLP 200 Core 2 Space Saver. If I was selling software, I probably wouldn't enter an equipment ID. That'd be kind of silly, but I could. And if you don't enter an equipment ID, the equipment ID and that hyphen is it doesn't exist. It just shows that the asset name is repeated. It doesn't have to be unique. However, the equipment ID does have to be unique. All right, so the price is $255. And let's say that I sold several of them. I'm just going to hit clone. One, save. And cancel, clone, and 2, clone, and now 2, save. Now I'm going to go back to my purchase order and make sure that all of my assets are there. Indeed, I sold 200, 201, 202. They were all extended warranty, and the price is right there. And to look at my sales tally, I click on this link, and it shows me that the price is $255. There is no sales tax because B. Fuller is a tax-exempt entity that can be found on the constituent record. And however, if it was not a tax exempt entity, then this would be the sales price reflective of 8%. The grand total, which is the sum of your sales price and your sales tax. And then finally, the total items sold. Awesome. So we have one DLP 200 Control C. Now let's pretend like we're our friends at Exact. They got a phone call. They have logged into their portal. They don't log in through this method. They log in a different way through a URL. They have the number, so they say, all right, it is DLP 200. Go. They find it on their list. And then they say, okay, the status is under warranty. And there's 4 statuses for all of the assets. There's either not assigned, that's when there is not a purchase date, meaning the asset hasn't been purchased yet. There is under warranty, there is out of warranty, and there is retired, and the script should likely reflect those different dispositions and how you'd like them to go forward. And then click New Case. And the case reasons are hardware and software. These lists can be expanded, or you could even remove, well, you can't remove case reason. It could be expanded or even just left as just one if you wanted to. So we're going to pretend like it was Brian who took the call, and the case reason is software. Then he hits submit. The next thing he does is he clicks warehouse visit, and he follows the prompts. The next available appointment is Tuesday at noon. Schedule this appointment? Let's say he does. Yes. And says, thank you. You are scheduled to visit the CFY repairs facility, blah, blah, blah. When they're done, they hit close. And then they log out of their interface. So now we're back at our friends, the guys who had the asset DLP 200. They've come in. You've discovered the asset, DLP 200, asset name. You've looked for it in search, and you found it here in search. And you have 2 things to do. You'll want to, there's a couple of different scenarios. The first thing that we're going to want to do is go to that open case. So here we go. We're at that open case. And closed reason. Perhaps they just missed the appointment. If so, we would just say missed appointment. And we'll move this to closed. Future enhancements could, relate whenever someone does, closed reason, then the status updates to close. But in this instance, it's a manual process. We hit save. Awesome. But let's say actually it wasn't a missed appointment, that instead we need to replace an asset. So we're going to denote this as resolved problem, save. And now we need to retire this asset, DLP 200, and issue another one. I'm a little bit of a lazy girl. So if you have the asset already in the system, then you can search for it, like this DLP 127. But if you were doing the data entry on the fly, then what you're going to do is you're going to say clone. Clone it. And let's say that this is, part of the replacement asset series, which you've decided are 3000s. Great. And then we are going to, the purchase date is there, that's right. But the purchase date is not going to come through. And the price we're leaving alone, the extended warranty we're leaving alone. I'm going to say save. Now we do need to add that purchase date back in. And the reason we didn't add that, the purchase order, is because the purchase order, if we added the purchase order here, then that item is going to now be appended to the purchase order. And they didn't purchase another item, they simply replaced an item. So now this is our 3000. We're going to go back to our friend, the 200, DLP 200. Here we go. And we're now going to name our replacement asset DLP 3000. Not 30,000, although it could be 30,000. Nice. It looked it up for me, and it is all good, and the status is now retired. And let's take a look, one last look at that purchase order. So it's not paid. Let's say that, let's imagine Bob got the funds. So he received it, and he now says received it in September 26th. Updates it, says saved, and the status is now paid. And we still have our original 3 assets, DLP 200 to 202. Our sales tally has not been impacted. There it is, 155. And while we're looking at it, it's a little off the process, but it might be worth noting. Let's just show that sales tally with when it's not sold to a school, so you can see the sales tax. Let's go with, there we go, Michelle Cruz. Now if we look at the sales tally, we'll see that there is indeed a sales tax included. That is it. That was the whole process. Hope you're having